So what if I told you the reason that you're stuck in your career right now isn't because you're not good enough, it's because you're too good at doing the wrong things? Look, you're great at your job, you hit your targets, your team respects you, but you're invisible to senior leaders for those big executive promotions. You're feeling stuck and you're probably thinking the only way to get promoted is to get out. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to go from being your company's best kept secret to being chased down by executive recruiters and even internally for big promotions. And you're gonna love this because it's not about working more hours, it's about changing how people see you. Make this one shift and I guarantee you your LinkedIn inbox will never be the same again. Even your company inbox, you'll notice executives and leaders really noticing you. If you're new to this channel, I'm Tarek. I'm Executive Director at one of the world's largest investment banks, and I have coached many junior and mid-level professionals, and I see the same patterns over and over. Talented people get trapped on the hamster wheel of being a doer and can't figure out why they're being passed up for those promotions. The truth is, those killer skills that made you an excellent manager are not the same skills that are going to get you promoted to an executive. But today we're going to fix that. Alright, so first you have to understand the trap before you can get out of it. The whole paradox of being a middle manager is your excellence at doing a particular job is what's actually keeping you stuck there. You're so good at doing an efficient job, at really streamlining everything, and your company can't see you doing anything else. See, as a manager, you're trained to ask, how can I make this more efficient? Whereas executives, they ask a completely different question. What business result do I want to achieve? So you're being rewarded for your efficiency, but on the other hand, you're being judged for promotions based on your strategic vision. So you're looking at a problem and you're thinking, what do I do? How to solve this? Whereas an executive looks at that exact same problem and thinks, who should be doing this? This creates the invisible wall. You're giving 110%, but your name isn't even coming up in those big succession planning meetings. Why? Because you're being seen as a reliable operator and not a strategic visionary. You're playing checkers while the people getting promoted are playing chess. So now that you understand the problem, how do we get you to shift your mindset? This is the biggest shift that you'll need to make the strategy work for you. And it's super simple. First, to get hired like an executive, you need to start thinking and acting like an executive. You can't just sit there and wait for the behavior to change based on your job title. So if your job title changes, then suddenly you're automatically switched to executive mode. It doesn't work like that. It's the opposite. You have to change your behavior first to get the title, and that's it. So the whole thing is in your head. You need to stop thinking like someone who's going to do the tasks and start thinking of yourself as a CEO of you. Your career is your business, and your projects that you do, they're your products. Why is this so critical? Well, I'll tell you, it's because most executive or senior leadership roles, they're not posted on job boards like many of the mid-level or junior level roles. Sure, you'll see a few, but there really is a completely hidden job market for executive leaders. Companies hire executive search firms to go and find talent for these jobs. And trust me, I know this from experience. They're not looking for people who are ready for their next step. They're looking for people who are already there, are already acting like they're there. So your job right now is to become huntable. Huntable to external recruiters or huntable internally for those succession planning meetings. You need to be sending out there strong signals of leadership and strategic vision so that executive recruiters can see you, or even internally you can be found. Your goal is to make their job easier so that when external recruiters or internal recruiters are typing strategic leader in whatever field you're in, you should be there in the top of the searches. So how do we actually do this? Well, there's this super simple 3-pillar blueprint that I'm going to share with you now that's going to stop you being a best kept secret and being a leader that everyone's fighting over for the next job. It's super simple, so let's get into those pillars. So pillar 1 is reframing yourself from doer to strategist. So first things first, this is what you're going to do for me right now. You're going to ban a word from your vocabulary, and that is responsibilities. So you don't manage projects anymore, you deliver business outcomes. So recruiters, internally and externally, are trained to search for one thing, and that's measurable impact. They're going to skip past stuff like, I led a marketing campaign, and they're going to focus on real value. So that value is found in numbers. So I want you to translate everything that you've done into a number, into a metric that a CEO would care about. This could be revenue growth, user uptake, cost savings, market share, time saved, you get the drift. So you're going to stop saying things like, I rolled out this software. Instead, you're going to say, I led a software implementation for 5,000 users globally that saved 15% in operational efficiencies and saved 200,000 in the first year, as an example. So can you see the difference here? One is a task and the other is results and outcomes. And recruiters and hiring managers, even internally, they love to see those results and those numbers. So go through your LinkedIn profile right now and start removing all of those ad hoc responsibility duties. Replace it with a quantified achievement. And even if you don't get past this, if you just focus on pillar one, this is already a game changer. I'm guarantee you'll see some shift. The next pillar is to engineer your executive presence. Executive presence isn't something that you're magically born with. It's a set of behaviors that shows confidence and credibility. It's all about how you show up at the end of the day. In meetings, stop being a reporter who just gives status updates. So you want to move from the what to the so what. What does the data actually mean? What are the risks? What are the opportunities? That's what you need to be talking about. You need to start framing your language in that way. And at the same time, it's important to start building your digital presence. This is a non-negotiable. It's something you need to do as well as internally building your presence, is to make sure your LinkedIn profile and your digital sort of thought leadership is all out there. Recruiters spend all day hunting on LinkedIn and online, and even in your own company, people will Google your name to see what comes up for you. And if you nail your profile, it's going to work for you 24/7, which is incredible. So let's get into the basics. Is your profile headshot on LinkedIn professional? At this day and age, I mean, where we are now, this is a basic requirement. If you want to be up there for an executive or senior director position, you need to have an executive presence that starts with your profile picture. And it's easier than ever to get a profile picture that's executive now. You can even use AI to do this for you, so there's no excuses here. And also, you need to update your title on LinkedIn. Your headline should be, it shouldn't be, marketing manager at ABC Corp. As an example, it should be strategic marketing leader driving brand strategy and growth in whatever space you're in. And the about section needs to be packed full of keywords that are meaningful to you. So they're executive presence keywords like strategy, leadership, and those metrics we talked about, but also where you want to be and what industry you want to be in. You want all those keywords in your about section. Again, you can use AI here to help beef up that executive language in your about statement. The third pillar is to manufacture your visibility. Being a great strategist is useless if nobody knows who you are. You have to use visibility as a strategic tool. You need to purposefully get yourself in front of senior leaders. The fastest way to do this is to volunteer for those high impact projects that are cross-functional. So if those are going on in your company right now, try and get on board with them. And if you don't know how to identify these, find out what projects the C-suite are talking about. And you usually know these if you listen to town halls or weekly updates from the C-suite. They tend to focus on certain projects. Getting on projects like these proves that you've got that horizontal breadth that you can stretch across the business. And more importantly, it gets you noticed by the top. The next thing you need to do is position yourself as a thought leader. Now, I know that sounds really intimidating, but it's really not as hard as it seems. You don't need to be on stage giving TED Talks All you need to do is write articles like on LinkedIn. So maybe once a month you give a viewpoint on something you've worked on, because you are the thought leader of your own experience. You've seen that happen. Or you can write posts about reflecting on a project you have delivered, some outcomes or challenging situation you've been in, and put that thought leadership out there for people to resonate with you. This positions you as someone who not only knows their job and their work, but sees deeply and thinks deeply about it as well. And that's what gives you that thought leadership presence that you need. So it's a powerful magnet both internally and externally to recruiters. And finally, you need to start networking, whether that's going to internal events where leaders are, or maybe building up your presence online on LinkedIn by commenting on people's posts that you aspire to. It's not about always connecting with them. It's always about having a good conversation and finding those similarities where you can connect. If you do it this way, it becomes a lot more personal, a lot more authentic, and you'll build a really good quality network rather than just blanket sending out invitations that are blank to loads of individuals who don't even know you. So start building that authentic network online and at work as well. Right, so you're going to make these shifts and then watch what happens next. This is a game changer for you. You'll notice that you're not always having to go out and seek opportunities. Opportunities will start coming to you, and it's a really noticeable shift. I still remember when it started happening to myself. So now you're seen as a magnet. You're the person who's got the experience, the executive presence, the strategic leadership, and the vision and visibility. You're no longer the maybe, you're now the first choice. And that's the position you want to put yourself in and the mindset you have to have. And soon you'll start noticing that you'll be asked to participate in events at work, or in your LinkedIn inbox, you'll start hearing from recruiters or people in that hidden job market saying there's a role that I'd really like you to see and to hear. All right, so that's the framework. And look, I know a lot of those pillars, they've got a lot more to it than that as well. So comment below if you'd like me to focus on any of those particular areas and really go deeper into those. I'd love to help you more with those. And also remember, I know that feeling of being stuck, but that feeling of being stuck is temporary. It's not a prison sentence. There's a choice you can make to help yourself get out of it. And I hope this video is showing you that. You can keep being that best kept secret in your company, or you can decide right now today that you want to be the CEO of your own career. Reframe your value, engineer your presence, and manufacture that visibility. I know you can do it, and I guarantee you'll see success. Thanks, and see you in the next one.